Hi everybody, it's Friday night, time for another cocktail, and I'm eventually going to run out of cocktails to make, so I'll always take suggestions, and someone did suggest that we make a sidecar, so I'm going to make a sidecar, which is a pretty simple cocktail. It's an old Prohibition era cocktail. That seems to be where all the great cocktails came from. This one supposedly originated in Paris, in Harry's bar, because everybody that couldn't drink in the United States went over to Paris, and that's where they made all the good drinks. So a sidecar is basically 3 ingredients. It's brandy, it is orange liqueur, Cointreau is what we're using, and it's lemon juice. And the proportions kind of vary depending on different recipes and what you like. I'm basically going to go with 2 parts brandy, 1 part orange liqueur, and 1 part lemon juice. And the brandy that I'm using is, you want to use a good brandy because there's a decent amount of brandy in this drink, so you don't want to be drinking the cheap stuff. So I'm using Remy Martin 1738, which is a really nice champagne cognac. Spend a little money on the brandy because it's worth it. Our motto is quality, not quantity. So we like to have good drinks. We don't necessarily like to have lots of drinks, although that's not a problem. Yeah. So for this drink, I'm going to start with my brandy. And I'm going to do 2 parts brandy to 1 part Cointreau, 1 part lemon juice. And so for 2 drinks, I'm going to do 2 ounces of the brandy. So there is 2 ounces for 1. And 4 ounces for 2. Then our Cointreau, 2 ounces of that. Nobody really knows why it's called a sidecar. There's a lot of speculation about it. And supposedly some stories say that it was a guy who rode up in a sidecar and requested the drink. There's our lemon juice, 2 ounces of that. So that's everything we need there. Now, before I shake it up, I'm going to prepare my glasses. So these are coops that have been chilling with ice. I'm going to get rid of the ice. And for the sidecar, you want a sugar rim on the glass. So I'm going to take my lemons, which I squeezed, I'm going to run that around the rim. I'm going to dip it into some sugar. And sugar rim there. Do the other one. And the glasses are all set. So then we're going to shake it up. So I have some ice in my shaker. And then we want to shake it up to get it nice and cold. And then strain it into our glasses. Even. Don't want to cheat anyone. Now some people will garnish it with an orange twist. I don't have any oranges, and I think it's fine just like this. So this is the sidecar, and cheers to Friday night.
Can't do my left hand.
Uh-oh, left hand problem.
Got it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Hi everybody, so it's still Friday night, and the sidecar went down fairly quickly, and so it's time for another drink, and I'm going to do a variation on a sidecar, and this is one that I kind of developed myself in honor of our dogs. This one we like to call the Kickback. So there's the sidecar, and then there's a variation on the sidecar called the Side Kick, which has orange juice in it, and I'm not a big fan of cocktails with orange juice. And so I came up with this one, and we decided to call it the Kickback, which if you have a dog and he likes to do the kickback, you know what I'm talking about. So this one, the brandy that I'm going to use, because it is basically just a variation on sidecar, is Dead Bird Apple Brandy, which is made by Shelburne Orchard, which is a local orchard here not too far from where we live. And this is their apple brandy, which is really good stuff. They make it right there on the orchard. And I'm going to read you the story as to why it's called Dead Bird, because kind of people don't understand the name. So on the back of the bottle it says, "At my grandfather's house after his funeral, I found myself looking at a bronzed dead bird on the mantle. An older gentleman tapped me on the shoulder and whispered, 'That bird was found the morning after your grandfather's still caught fire during Prohibition.' I sat with him to hear the story. It was a wicked winter night. Your grandfather was making illegal whiskey in his cellar when the still caught fire. Unfortunately, the revenuer showed up at the same time as the fire department. The firemen, who were in on the secret, accidentally hosed the agent. Wet and frozen, he had to leave to change clothes. Next morning, your grandfather found a dead sparrow in the snow by the cellar door. It was cast in bronze and one given to everyone in secret." So that's the story behind the Dead Bird apple brandy. So this is aged 7 years. If you're ever in Shelburne, I don't know that you can get it anywhere other than at the orchard, but if you're ever in Shelburne, Vermont, it's worth a trip to the orchard. It's a great place, and their brandy is really good. So what I've come up with for the Kickback is the apple brandy from Shelburne Orchard, the Dead Bird, Cointreau, as with a regular Sidecar. I've added Saint Germain, which is elderflower liqueur, and some citrus bitters, and again, as with the Sidecar, some lemon juice. So the proportions that I came up with are 3 parts brandy, 1 part each of the Cointreau, the Saint Germain, and the lemon juice. So for 2 drinks, I'm going to go with about 4.5 ounces of the brandy. There's 2, 4, and a half. And it's going to be 1.5 ounces each of everything else. So there's 1.5 ounces of fresh squeezed lemon juice. I do 1.5 ounces of the Cointreau. There. 1.5 ounces of Saint Germain. So Saint Germain is an elderflower liqueur. It's pretty tasty. A friend of mine, Gary Rocha, likes to call it bartender's ketchup because he thinks it goes well in everything, or it fixes everything like ketchup. So there are our ingredients in the glass, and then I'm also going to do some bitters. These are citrus bitters. These are from a local place, Urban Moonshine. We'll do about 2 dashes per drink. There's 2 and 4. Those back there. I've got our coops again, which are chilling. Well, actually, I'm going to save the ice because I'm going to need to shake my drink. And then we're going to again rim the glass in sugar. This time we're using a little fancier sugar because this is in honor of our dogs and they're kind of fancy, you know. So there's some gold sugar on that one. There. All right, so I've got my ice, got my ingredients. I'm gonna shake it all together.
I'm liking the t-shirt.
The moonstone?
Yes.
You just noticed the moonstone?
Moonstone, Wendy Sogoloff, send her
There you go.
horses. She's great.
Straining the drink into our sugar-rimmed glasses. That is a variation on the Sidecar that we like to call the Kickback.
I'm switching hands.
Oh, there we go. Try
Right
to hand
hand.
that off without spilling. And cheers to our
Corgis.
fine corgis.